Good morning, everyone. Hope you are well. This is Faith James, and we are in another episode of the Brand Momentum Morning Show. Come on in the studio, say hi, let me know that you're here. We have a really fascinating reading from The War of Art, and we're going to be talking about territory and hierarchy and the difference, and why it's important that you learn how to use this to determine where you are and in terms of your life or your business, where you're focusing. So if you're with me live, come on in, say hi. If you're watching on replay, hashtag replay, and I will come back and answer any questions for you. So let's jump in. So the difference between territory and hierarchy. How can we tell if our orientation is territorial or hierarchical? One way is to ask ourselves, if I were feeling really anxious, what would I do? If you would pick up the phone and call 6 friends, one after the other, with the aim of hearing their voices and reassuring ourselves that they still love us, we're operating hierarchically. We're seeking the good opinion of others. Okay? What would Arnold Schwarzenegger do on a freaky day? He wouldn't phone his buddies, he'd head for the gym. He wouldn't care if the place was empty, if he didn't say a word to a soul. He knows that working out all by itself is enough to bring him back to center. His orientation is territorial. Here's another test. Of any activity you do, so you right now thinking about what you're doing, whether it's in your business or in your life, of any activity you do, ask yourself, if I were the last person on earth, would I still do it? If you're all alone on the planet, a hierarchical orientation makes no sense. There's no one to impress. So if you'd still pursue the activity, congratulations, you're doing it territorially. If Arnold Schwarzenegger were the last man on earth, he'd still go to the gym. Stevie Wonder would still pound the piano. The sustenance they get comes from the act itself, not from the impression it makes on others. Stephen Pressfield goes on to say, I have a friend who's nuts for clothes. If she were the last woman on earth, she would shoot straight over to Givenchy or Saint Laurent, smash her way in, start pillaging. In her case, it wouldn't be to impress others. She just loves clothes. That's her territory. Now, what about ourselves as artists, as people, as whatever it is that you do in your life? How do we do our work? Hierarchically or territorially? If we were freaked out, would we go there first? If we were the last person on earth, would we still show up at the studio, the rehearsal hall, the laboratory, the office, the wherever you do what it is that you do? That's so good. Good morning. I'm not sure who this is. Can you look around on the video and see there's a link that says give StreamYard permission to use your name? I would love to be able to address you by name. So that's for both of you who are watching now. Please do that. So that's a really great way to help you kind of answer some of the questions we talked about in yesterday's show. This idea of, are you in flow? Are you loving the thing that you're doing? Or are you trying to love the thing that you're doing? So this is another way to really get to that. Would I still be doing the thing that I'm doing if I were the last person on earth? Very profound question. Because oftentimes we end up in what I like to say, these rollover careers, right? So maybe you got an internship at your friend's dad's company and you've just been doing this thing and just doing it, and it's just been a rollover. So from your 20s, you just keep rolling on, you're still doing it. Or let's say the family had a business and you started working in there when you were in your 20s. And because it's a family business, you're just sort of continuing to do it because you want to make your dad feel good, or your mom or your aunt or whomever it might be. You don't want to disappoint them. You want to look good in their eyes, like you're a good little person, a good girl, good boy. And so you're just doing it. But the question to ask is, if you were the only person on the face of this planet, would you still do that thing that you're doing? So that's what it's about, right? And again, it's when I said the reason you want to do this bit of work is because when you're doing what you're good at, when you're doing what you're in flow in, when you're doing the thing that you were oriented to do, that God created you to do, you're going to do it regardless. Good morning, my beautiful Melody. How are you? You would still do it if nobody were around. That's how you know. If who was I talking to the other day? We were talking about the sayings, right? Where you look at the days of the week, and as I like to say, this is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be exceedingly glad in it. Every day is a good day. Every day is a gift. But then we have like oh my God, Ajita, it's Monday. Like, here the drudgery begins. Then Wednesday all of a sudden becomes hump day. And it's like, just trying to get over the hump of this week. And then Friday rolls around and we're like, thank God it's Friday, because you can't wait to get out of your life. Meaning the thing that you've been doing this whole week, you can't wait to get out of it. You're like, thank God it's Friday. Get rid of that. You're not in flow, my love. If that's your attitude, if that's your thinking, thank God it's Friday. Because when you're doing the thing that you love to do, that you're in flow to do, that you were created to do, that you were anointed to do, every day is a good day. Every day is your Friday. There are days sometimes I don't even, honestly, true story, I don't even know what day it is. I'm like, is it Monday? Is it what day is today? Because I'm just flowing. I'm just in doing my thing. I'm not like biting my fingernails, being like, oh, thank God Monday's over. Oh my God, now we got to get over Tuesday, and here comes Hump Wednesday. So that tells you that you're not in flow. What Pressfield is offering up, this idea of, are you working in territory or hierarchy, is another great way for us to investigate what it is that we're doing. Because if you're in hierarchical behavior, this is where resistance gets you, because she knows you don't love it anyway. So she and her ne'er-do-well cousin procrastination and their BFF good time Tina can come at you from all angles, and you'll be defeated because they know you don't love this thing that you do. You're just trying to do, you're just faking it. You just want to look good in front of this person. You're like, oh my God, I love pivot tables. I can't wait. We know you don't love it. You know you don't love it. Go do the thing that you love to do. That's the message for this series, for this month, is be intentional about finding the thing that you love to do. And let me just say, guys, it's not that I'm saying, oh, tomorrow you do the work and you get reflective and you're like, aha, I found the Holy Grail. It's a journey. But here's the good thing. As long as you're in perpetual motion, as long as you're always in a posture of seeking, right? Seek and ye shall find. As long as you're in a posture of seeking and saying, I am open to the possibilities. I am open to the idea that, yes, I've been, make it up. I've been a bookkeeper for 20 years. But you know what really lights me up? I love working with children. I really want to start an after school program because I just love to see children light up and come to life and, really step into their full power and potential. Then that's where you need to head. It's sort of like you look for your GPS, your North Star, start heading in that direction. So if you've been in the wilderness lost, but right? Sun rises in the east, sets in the west. I want to head due north. Let me start in that direction. As long as you're starting in that direction, you're on a good path. But as I said yesterday, the sitting and the spinning and the twirling and all of that stuff that's not getting you in any kind of forward momentum, we have to stop that. So even if you're still right, because we have to be pragmatic, we've got to put food on the table, we've got to feed our kids, we've got to pay our mortgages and our rent. But you start a plan. You say, okay, right. I'm going to set the intention that within a year, I'm going into my place of joy. I'm going to be in my place of joy. And you start. And you do this work that I'm asking you to do, to get reflective, to really focus in on what are the things that light you up? What are the things that just bring you joy? Make that list. Don't judge it. Don't edit it. Just make that list. And then start to do the exploration. Go on your recon missions. Okay, let me dig a little bit into this after school program. Let me see what are some of the options. Do they have a franchise opportunity that already exists that I can just plug into? Or would I be starting my own from scratch? And this is why when I say, when you build a brand, you have to start from the bottom up. You've got to do the foundational work. You can't just start, I'm going to do a website, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You have to first get into, what is my intention? I wrote a blog this week and it was like, what's in a brand name anyway? When people are talking about, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to get a name, and you want to really think about what's in the name. And you think strategically in terms of, what is my intention? Is my intention to create this business and be the sole service provider, and it's just me and it rests with me, meaning you don't have an exit strategy plan for your business. You don't have a plan for, let's say in 10, 15, 20 years, I want to be able to sell this, right? And then go do another passion project. You got to think about that, because that impacts the name. Because companies are looking for companies to purchase. I was in Clubhouse the other day and I was in a room with Grant Cardone and Ryan and a couple of other people. And they were saying that they are looking for companies to purchase. Companies that are currently doing 5 million right now, they're looking for companies to purchase. Think about that. That would you even dare to think, oh, I'm going to build this business up so I can sell it. And so when you're building your business, you're going to be thinking about those things that need to come into place. But it's important that we really think strategically first before we make any move. Even if if we use the example of the after school program, are you going to be the only activities director, or is your plan maybe somewhere down the future line that you would then hire in other activity directors to be contractors? Maybe you have one person that's going to be specializing in artwork, and one person that's going to be specializing in music education, another person that's going to be specializing in, dance, whatever it might be. Or are you going to be, I'm going to be doing this program and I know music, so it's just going to be a music after school program? Or do I want this to be a place where kids can come and they get exposed to all the arts? Do you see? You got to think about that, because then the name that you come up with for your business is impacted by your strategic intent. So where are you? Are you doing the thing that you love? Are you trying to love the thing that you're doing? Are you working in territory? Are you working hierarchical, meaning you're just doing it because it's the thing that people think you ought to do? You're just doing it because you want to be impressive to other people. You're doing it because you think you should. You're doing it because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. You're doing it because you're trying to keep up with the people on social media. We have to stand in our truth. We have to know our truth and then stand in it. So if you are feeling bold, I want you to, in the comments, I want you to put right now, where if you were to make an estimation, and not saying this is going to be your final answer, right? This is not like, what's that game show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Final answer? No. Not that kind of pressure. Doesn't have to be your final answer right now, but just where we are right now, if you were to say, you know what, I think I'm kind of leaning more toward territory, or I'm leaning more toward hierarchy. And either one is fine. What we're going after is the awareness and the acknowledgement. Because if you're in territory, wonderful. Then you you keep going. You're like, okay, I'm going to double down even more because I know if nobody's looking, I'm still going to be doing this thing. But if you suspect that you might be leaning closer to hierarchy, meaning you're only doing it because of expectations put on yourself by others or by you or society, and you're not really in flow with it, then let this be the moment, the opportunity for you to say, you know what, I'm going to do this work. I'm going to take a moment to think, what would I do? Like if you're baking and you love to bake, would you be baking if you're the only person in the world? If you are, you're in territory. But if you're only baking homemade cookies because you want to look good in front of your mother-in-law, and when she's gone, you're like, oh, please, let's go to Publix, let's go to Whole Foods, go to wherever. Order up, 2 dozen scones, because I'm not whipping another batter. Then you're in hierarchy. And then this is your opportunity to say, okay, what would it look like for me to be in territory? So I love it. Melody knows. Melody says she's in territory 100%. Because when here's why this is magical. Because you show up, even though nevertheless. So some people don't want to do their lives because only 2 people show up. So that already tells you you're not really operating from territory, because you would show up and give the information whether 2 people, 20 people, 2,000 people, 0 people show up. I talk about this all the time, because whether you've got 2 people, 3 people, 10 people, 40 people in the audience, if the information that you're giving is important, necessary, and it needs to be put out in the marketplace, that's your only focus. I put it out there. I showed up and I gave value. And I always like to say, you know what? There's power in the replay. Don't let that number, that live number, don't let that thing torture you or taunt you or torment you. It doesn't mean anything about you. Right now, I can see it's showing me that there's 7 people live with me. I've been on lives before where people have hundreds of people on their lives. That 7 means nothing about me. That 7 is just information. All it's telling me is that there's 7 people actively watching right now. Now 8, right? Actively watching right now. But when we give things that are just innocuous, things that are just giving us a data point, we attach meaning to it, then it's like, oh my gosh, only 7 people. I don't know. I'm not going to do it. Let me tell you guys, there could be 0. Listen, if there was a way that Facebook could do like -10, if there were -10 people on this live right now, I would still be here doing this work, showing up, because I'm so in the territory. I'm so in flow. It's not even an option for me. That's where you want to be. When you start to worry about how many people and how many likes, and listen, all those things are good, and you want to move toward more engagement. You want to move toward more valuable content. So the information, again, like I said, it's just information. So one of the things that I do with my clients is that I do a social media heuristic analysis and look deep into, okay, here's how you're performing on all these platforms. Here's the content, by type, by print, by video, by meme, by whatever. And then within those categories, here are the ones that got the most engagement, the most like, the most share. And then we start to analyze. Okay, so let's take a look at this. This was like your most engaging post. Let's analyze what's going on in this that made it that, connected to the people, so we can do more of those. So the numbers are just information to give you direction on where you need to go. It doesn't mean you stop doing what you're doing because you've got 10 posts on Facebook with 0 engagement. It's just information to say, okay, let's tweak that. Let's try something else. Advertising marketing, all test and learn. Good morning, Marty. Yeah, Marty says, I watch a lot of replays and there's so much archival value there. Of course, there is gold in the replay. The fortune, you've heard, is in the follow-up. because not everybody is going to be available at the time that you send your email. You're like, oh my God, I didn't get a 50% open rate. The people are busy. The people are busy. The people are in meetings. The people are in seminars. The people are in webinars. They're out with their kids. The people are busy. They will get to it as and when they get to it if the information is valuable. So your only focus is to ensure that you are providing value. Somebody hashtag always provide value. Because the minute you show up without that orientation, and it's just, oh, me, look at me, talk about me, can I talk? Oh, and great, let me talk more about me. And buy my stuff, 40% off, buy my stuff. And there's no value contained within, then the numbers show you. Again, it's just a data point. Your stuff isn't that valuable. Let's maybe use this opportunity to tweak. Let's maybe take this opportunity to ask the people, what is it that they want? Good morning, Lori. Thanks for joining, my love. Yes, always provide value. Always provide value. Bible says it's better to give than receive. We get more. There's joy in the giving. Let me tell you something about, I get so giddy when I provide value and somebody says, oh, this was so meaningful. Oh, this really helped me. I needed this, this word right in this moment. Because, every morning, thereabouts, I try to, I do a scripture and a prayer. And when people that I don't even know that are on my page, people that I don't even know that are even reading it, because guess what? They don't click it, they don't like it, they don't share them, nothing. So I don't know if they're there. But then maybe a couple days later or a week or whatever, it's like, oh, your morning prayers are so valuable. It really lifts me up, etc. But see, this is when you're in the territory, because I'm just showing up and giving the word. Whoever receives it, whoever it lands with, wonderful. Right? It does, because you know that when that person gets it, and I actually just pitched, I just did a pitch as part of the, I was in BSA and they teach you how to pitch media, etc. And so I did a pitch to Her Magazine about this idea of, and I'm going to actually send it out to a bunch more media, of how to use your personal brand to ensure that you get great gifts. Because I think I did some research on this. It was like 64% of people, actually admit to regifting gifts that they've gotten. Now, why would 64% of the people be regifting? Because you know what? The giver was not tuned in to that person's personal brand, meaning like the things that they're all about. So when I know whether it's a client or a friend that they're all about, and I'm like, ooh, I can already see the smile on their face, because I know it's on point. I know it's on brand. I know this is exactly what they're into. Like if you have a friend who's just nutso for butterflies and you give, let's say it's like, a fashion butterfly ring or butterfly earrings or something, they're going to love it. And so that joy that they're going to get that says, wow, I feel so heard, seen, special, that you would take the time to go hear the word, curate a gift that is going to be meaningful for me. It's not just some tchotchke, not just some leftover stuff, some swag that you got from some company and you just like wrapped it up and go here. Listen, keep that. Don't even... I know some people say, oh, it's a thought that can't, but you know what? Then just give me a call or send a card or something. But there's enough clutter. We'll do a whole new session. I have a couple of guests on top of clearing out your space. I am not short on tchotchke. This is what when I say to my clients, if you're going to give a gift, nobody needs another mug. I don't care how fab we think it is. But what if you got a gift like this, right? So let's just say if this were your color, Melody, let's just use your Pro Event planners, right? So if that had, you can see there, that's like swag. I think I got this from some event I was at. I still have it. I don't know. I don't know where I got it from, but I have them because you know why? I'm trying to find the other one I wanted to show you. Because it has what? It starts, the word I'm looking for, people, starts with a V. V like Victor. What does this have? These two things that I have in my hand, I can't find the other one. What do these two things have? Exactly, Melody. We just got to show up. Value. I'm a business owner. These are USB drives. I am always scanning, downloading, sending. These are useful. They have value. It is not another squeezy little elephant, those tension things that people would give you. It's not another t-shirt that I have more t-shirt than I know what to do with. Value. So even the gifts that you give, you want to stop and pause and think, is this going to be valuable, or am I just clogging up this person's desk with more tchotchke that they don't need, that they're just going to toss? So I'd say rather give nothing. Yes, I don't know who this is, but yeah, they have value. So that's where you want to go. So regardless of the number, regardless of who's on your lives, regardless of who's opening your emails, your only quest needs to be, okay, right, so let's just say only 5% people opened. Let me look. Yes, ma'am. We are all about the intentional gifts. Let me look and see how I can increase the value. That's your first go-to. Gratitude. I'm thankful that I got this information because it's telling you there's some tweaking that needs to be done for this. And then you move into action by saying, okay, right, what could be more meaningful? What do the people need? This is one question you need to always ask. What do my people need? What do they need? You'd be listening for the problems, etc. So yeah, so I made that pitch and I'm going to send it out to different media because 64% of people regifting stuff, that number is way too high. That just tells us like so many of us are off the mark. And certainly with Valentine's Day coming up, so for all the men who are listening and for all the ladies too, who either you gift yourself something on Valentine's Day, and if you don't do that, let me be the first to encourage you to do that, right? We're going to be talking a lot about love for yourself, love for your family, your business, your brand in February. But these are the Swarovski, guys, I launched my Bling Your Brand boutique. And so part of showing up, like, when I'm on a Zoom and you're talking, because you're only in this little square field, so you want to stand out, you want to like present your way in a way that you feel polished, but you don't have to like go put on like a suit and all that kind of stuff. Just add a little bling. So these would make fabulous gifts for any woman who is into jewelry and adorning herself. The Swarovski line is insane. I mean, like this, you can't even tell which one is my real diamond bracelet and which one's a Swarovski, right? They just all blend together. So the reason I started it, because I was like, I want to give my clients like fab gifts. And I just got a new client and ordered a gift for her from the collection. And it's going to be so perfect. And when I saw it, it's like, oh my gosh, because the name of the piece in the catalog has the name of her company in it, and other symbolisms that I know she'll love. So yeah, we want to be intentional with the gift giving. So if you haven't yet registered for my Bling Your Brand party, it's actually going to be on the 30th. You don't have to be present to win. I'm going to be raffling off a whole bunch of different things just for people who registered. So go on my personal page and find the link. Or if you don't have it and you're like, I want my name in for drawing, like this is a Swarovski, this is a Swarovski. All day, all night. Makes you just feel like, like this is just a regular little tank top and like a little cardigan thing. But right, my jewelry make me look polished, like I'm pulled together. So that's what we're talking about with the intentional gift. So thank you for that, Melody. So you want to get back to, are you doing the thing that you love? Are you in territory or in hierarchy? If you feel like you're in hierarchy and you want to do something about it, then do the reflective work I'm asking you to do this weekend. Get your journal, a blank sheet of paper. What do I love? What brings me joy? Start making that list. Don't judge it. If baking gluten-free cookies brings you joy, put that on the list. If working with children help bring you joy, put it on the list. Oh, wonderful. Another territory. Please, who is this? Even if you don't get the name sorted out, just comment again with your name, because I want to recognize you. So yeah, such a good place to be, because when you're in territory, here's what, you're on high vibration because you're doing the thing that you love. You're doing the thing that you would be doing 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. You're doing the thing that you would be doing if you were the last person on earth. You're in flow, you're in high vibration. When you don't, there was a study done, I think HubSpot did it, where it said 70% of US workers hate their jobs. That number as well is way too high. So if you hate your job and you're spending, if you're an employee, you're spending the lion's share of your time at work. So if we have, let's just say, a 12-hour workday. Let's just say you take some work home. Oh, wonderful. Hey, Arvis. You take some work home. So let's just say it's 12 hours. You're doing this thing that you hate. Do you understand the vibes that you're emanating? Even if you're just silently annoyed in your own mind, doing the thing, hating it, you're emanating low frequency, low vibration. People can feel it. And it creates a ripple effect, not only through your home, but through your community, through the world. This is why I do what I do, because I want people to have that sense of freedom and joy and do what you love. So becoming the CEO of you, building your brand in a place where you love it, you're just going to be emanating. People say, oh my God, Faith, you're always so positive. You're always so this, you're always so that. It's because I am doing what I love. Even when things, and listen, hear me clearly. Are there going to be challenges? Of course. I told you yesterday, Jesus said, in this world, you're going to have problems, but be of good cheer because I've sorted it all out. So even when challenges come, even when I was dealing with my my course and couldn't figure out how to get those 10,000 codes and connected, right? That was, I lost a few brain cells trying to figure that out. I was still in anticipation and excitement, like, oh my God, when this course launches, oh my God, it's going to be so great. So you want to be in territory. You want to be in territory. So I am going to wrap us. If you have no questions for me, if you are not a member of the Savvy Branders Tribe on Facebook, I am going to invite you in. It is a free place to come get close to the campfire, as our resident tribe member and accelerator Melody loves to say. Come sit close to the campfire, where you will be learning from me ways in which you can build your brand, ways in which you can show up. It is so important. I said to you yesterday, every month, 540,000 new businesses are founded. That means the marketplace is going to be ever increasing. That means there are going to be more people doing the thing that you're doing. And if you're doing the thing that you're doing and you're not in territory, that means when I say to you, go up, 5 more amperages, increase the wattage on what you're doing, that's going to be a pain on your soul. If I say, okay, right, Melody, you're doing your show on Wednesday. What if we did like a Saturday morning, sip and chat in a more casual format, and it's still talking about business, it's still talking about events, but it's sort of just like a more casual conversation. If I were to say that to Melody, because I know her so well, because she's a platinum client, she's a tribe member, she's an accelerator. She is, listen, she stokes the campfire. She's not just sitting around it. She would say, yeah, absolutely. She wouldn't go, oh my gosh, one more thing. Why? Because Melody is in territory. So always open to exploration, always looking to say yes and. When you're in territory, it's yes and. When you're doing it just because you want to be impressive to other people, you're doing it because people think you ought to, should. What do I always say? Stop shitting all over yourself. You should do this. You should do this because this is what is expected. And you're in hierarchy and you're not in territory. You're not loving life. Your kids feel it. Your family members feel it because you have no time to call and kiki with nobody because you're so stressed out and pissed off all the time. You just want to be alone. Leave me alone. I need to decompress. We need to get out of hierarchy. So find the joy, as I like to say, do the work. If you have any questions, if you're watching on the replay, come back, #replay. I want to hear that you're going to be determined to move yourself beyond where you are right now. And let me, before I go, I just do want to wrap with this. If you are not currently a member of the Brand Accelerator program, I don't care where you are in your business. If you even have a business, you're thinking about starting, you're not really sure, I'm going to encourage you to get in. So if you're not in, just comment below Accelerator or Accelerate, either one will work, and you'll get information in the messenger about the program. It's a single payment of $97 for life. You're in the program with me and the rest of the accelerators for life, where every month, so we're getting ready to do our February huddle session where we meet for 90 minutes and you get to ask me any and all questions related to building your brand. There's no question that's off limit as long as it's related to brand development. We do monthly challenges. So the whole point of it is to help to keep you in motion. So you're not just in another program where you've done the digital portion and then you're not in practice. You don't know how to do the thing that you just, spent time learning. So do yourself that favor, give yourself that gift. We're talking about intentional gifts. Give yourself, give your business, give your life that gift of coming into the program and being surrounded with like-minded, heart-centered, forward-thinking, forward movement, always in momentum accelerators, hence the name of the program. Because if you believe, if you understand that you have a gift, you understand that you have a calling on your life, you understand that God has some expectations of the time he's given you, and you want to be obedient to God, you want to get in motion, but you're just not really sure, you've been circling the drain for years and years and years. Now is your time. Now is your time. Comment below Accelerator and you'll get the information. Okay, so guys, make it a fabulous day. It's a glorious day. It's a day that the Lord made, and we're going to do what? We're going to rejoice and be exceedingly glad in it. I will see you guys back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. I'm going to hop on over to the Women Helping Women Facebook group and do my commitment. One of the things I'm going to keep my word to myself. So I go in there and I do a live for 30 minutes every Thursday. I've already booked myself through the end of the year. This is what I'm talking about when you're in territory, that you're not afraid to commit yourself for a year, because guess what? I'm doing the thing that I love. I can see myself doing this in perpetuity forever till kingdom come. That's where you want to be. And until you get into a place of discovery where I'm in the place where I want to do these things, and then you learn how to build your brand from that place, and it'll be really helpful for you. But if you're still circling, you're not sure, you're hating life, you're hating your job, just nothing's moving. Let me say this to you, David, my mentor, he always says this anyway. If you're not growing, you're dying. I'm going to say that again. If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not moving forward, you're dying, you're getting weaker. So that when problems or challenges show up, they seem insurmountable to you because you're not on that forward march. Universe, life, everything is energy and is always in perpetual movement, always seeking more life. It's why when you cut the grass doesn't go, oh my God, I'm so hurt. They shaved 3 inches off of me. I can't, I give up. What does the grass do? The grass digs down more root system and it shoots up and it sucks more water and it sucks more light, and it's like, grow more life. You cut the branches. The tree doesn't go, oh my gosh, that was my favorite limb. Like, how could you do that? I've been growing this limb forever and you chopped it. It's just like, okay, no worries, more life, more growth, more roots going down, more water, more life. So everything in nature is always in more life, perpetual growth, forward momentum. Nothing is like stuck and saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe I grew so beautifully. Nobody came and walked by. Nobody saw that like really pretty butterfly that was on my, hedge the other day. The bush is just like more life. Just go. So be like nature. I mean, humans are the only ones in nature that have this challenge with like, oh my gosh, I'm just doing this thing, but I don't really love it. And I'm just doing it because they want me. The grass, the trees, the bushes give no concern to that. They have one instruction from God that says more life, grow. And that's it. You cut it, it's going to grow. You prune it, it's going to grow. Even when you don't take care of it, right? I gave you that picture I did when my husband and I were in the Everglades, and there was this little bushlet, this little growing out of a rock formation. There was no soil, there was nothing, and it was thriving. It wasn't like it was like this. It was like, I'm like, check this out. Okay, so we're growing in rocks now. Okay, I see you. I saw the move you just made. Nature is always about forward momentum. That is our divine creation. More life, more fullness, more expression. If you're not moving forward, you're dying. If you're not moving forward, you're getting weaker. It's probably like not discernible to the naked eye, right? Because you think about like when you look at like this plant right now, I don't see it growing, but you know what? The leaves are growing. It's not perceptible to my naked eye, but you come tomorrow, you're like, oh, that got a little bit bigger. You could sit and watch it and you would never see the movement, but it's growing. It's surging forward. So if you're not doing this, you're doing this. There's no in between. There's no like, oh, we're just gonna hang here. It's either growing or dying. So I love you guys so much. Good morning, Crystal. I didn't see you here. So it's Accelerator, ACCELERATOR, or accelerate, like going fast. So if Crystal, if you could type that would be wonderful. And we'll get information over to you on the program, and just, go be fabulous. Go do something amazing for yourself. Whether it's go for a walk, whether it's, I'm going to read one page in a book, whatever it might be, just do something that you wouldn't have done had you not been on this show, because this is what the mission of the show is. It is more life. So I'm going to, I should have done that, Crystal, because I know it can sound like, I'm going to just do this right now. It can sound like, so that's the word. Just comment with Accelerator. And if you're not in the Accelerator program, you'll get information about it. Like I said, it's a no-brainer. There's nothing to think about. There's literally nothing like this on the planet. And so you want to grab these, because once those AppSumo codes are sold out, it's done. Like this program is normally $897. But because I did a partnership deal with them, I was like, they have millions of people on their platform. So I was like, sure, I'll give it to you for that. So comment Accelerator, and let's go make magic happen. I will see everybody back here tomorrow at 10. I'm going to go do my live in Women Helping Women, all about service, showing up and providing value. And then I will see you guys back at noon for Brand Therapy Thursday. So make sure you're there, set your reminder. We're going to be doing actual work now, specifically on your business, on your brand. So you want to be there for that. All right, my loves, take care. We'll talk soon. Bye.